What's up, guys? Alright, so I just cleaned up a little bit, ate, and I'm home from work. Time to work on the Porsche. So today we're gonna be putting the cylinder head back on. I gotta get a couple things out of the way. I'm gonna vacuum these out with my shop vac. I normally, to get fluid, I have a Mighty Vac, but I don't have that anymore. You know, a friend used it, kept it, whatever. I'll get it back one day. So I'm gonna make a device. I'm gonna put a hose, duct tape to the tip of this, and I'm gonna extract all the fluid out of there. There's some oil and some coolant in here, and just some real nasty stuff. Probably brake clean too, but vacuum out all the passages and clean up anything I can while I'm here. And hopefully my fuse to the garage doesn't blow, because this is like running a welder all the time in here. Alright guys, I'm gonna walk you through some stuff. Stay tuned. Alright guys, so I made my improvised Mighty Vac. I took some vacuum line, cut it in an angle so it has a tip so I can get into the corners and whatnot, and then I electrical taped it to this cone attachment for my vacuum. So now I should be able to just stick my hose down in these coolant passages and suck up all the fluid that's in there. Hopefully it doesn't ruin my vacuum, but I think it should be fine. It's a wet vac. There just might be some oil residue and whatnot in there, but should be good to go. Redneck ingenuity right here. Don't have the tool, make it. Alright guys, so I got the coolant jackets sucked out best I could. Little bit of oil residue, but that's okay. I'm gonna actually, when I do start this, I'm gonna do a full coolant flush with water before I add coolant. Cooling system's a pain in the ass to bleed anyways, so I'll just run water through it, and then I have Porsche coolant for it. But those are cleaned out for the most part. There's a piece of plastic in there and some rat poop I had to pick out. You guys saw that on the time lapse. But now I'm just gonna run over the surface one more time, make sure it's all good, and then I'm gonna gather the parts. Alright guys, I'm getting into my parts I got from FCP Euro. I did order a bottom end gasket kit and a top end gasket kit, so I actually don't know why, but I have a lot of extra stuff, but that's why I love FCP Euro. I can return a bunch of this stuff, no problem. For some reason, I have another set of the balance shaft seals and braces, but that doesn't matter. Maybe I bought another kit from someone else. I don't know. I took this thing apart and resealed it a while ago, and now I'm doing it again. But this is for thermostat. So I do have head studs, new nuts, washers, and we got a drain plug. So I'm gonna start by removing the old ones. I'm gonna do the double nut method, but I'll show you guys that real quick. If you guys don't know what the double nut method is, you want to put 2 nuts on it, hold the bottom one in place, and then tighten the top one down until they're tight. Once that's tight, then you're gonna loosen. Wow, they're both moving, what the fuck. Alright, I'm doing the double nut method on these head studs. Come to find out, these apparently over time and all the heat cycles and There might even be Loctite in there. These get really, really tight. So now I'm hesitant in changing them, but we're here and I have them. I'm gonna try the double nut method, and hopefully I don't strip the threads up here. But let's see. So I tried this already, and I got they were just ball spinning, so I'm gonna just use a bigger wrench, make sure they're super tight. But I don't want to strip the threads. I got a feel for this. You're just gonna have to feel it out. That's about as snug as I would go on that top one. And then I got a bigger wrench down here. Now, no, it wants to spin both. All right. So now, a bit of a pickle here. A lot of guys say, put a pipe wrench on it, yada yada yada. I'm only hesitant in doing that because what if I can't get them out? Technically I can reuse them because they're head studs. They were bolts, I would say no siree. But double nut method's not gonna work. You can call my Snap-on guy and get the tool. It's probably gonna be fucking $300. I do have a really nice Snap-on pipe wrench though. Alright guys, you saw me fight with this first one. You can see in there we're too good. It's real nasty in there. I was able to heat this one really nicely. I can get heat on the second one. It still didn't want to come out. I don't want to damage the threads or break a stud in the block, because then I have to pull the block, bring it to my machine shop guy, and hope to God he can get them out. I'm going to reuse these studs. And yeah, if that's a big no-no, drop it in the comments. I've reused studs on many things. It's just head bolts you do not want to reuse. If I broke a stud, replacing these studs is high risk, no reward. Not doing it. So sorry guys, pick your battles. I did some research. They do say to use just a dab of red Loctite. However, you know, some shit might have gotten in there, so I'm gonna use my hose thingy I made and vacuum out that real quick. I don't know if you noticed in the time lapse, my fucking breaker in my house blew. 60 amp breaker in the house for the whole garage. I know it sucks, but yeah, vacuum was running, heat kicked on, lights out. So I'm gonna suck that out. Little thread locker, new head bolt, or head stud rather, and put that in. No torque spec, just make sure it's in all the way, and we'll be good to go. Alright guys, so I prepped the block for the head gasket. I just went under the car and checked on the flywheel. There's a mark for top dead center. I'll show you guys that later when I remove the special tool that's holding the rotating assembly locked. Right now I need that to do the timing and whatnot, but yeah, so I'm gonna start putting the head gasket on, slap the head on, and then we're gonna get to torquing. nuts and washers for the head studs. Just unbag all of these. But you saw me struggling. It's never taken me that long to slap a head gasket in anything or what. But Victor Reigns, for some reason, their head gasket wanted to bend upwards, so the head gasket wouldn't stay on the dowel pins for the head. I haven't experienced that yet. I tried a little bit of RTV right below the dowel pin and the head gasket, just to see if that would hold it down, but there was so much spring in it, it wouldn't do it. So I very carefully bent the head gasket back the other way. I don't know if that was shipping or whatever. That thing came strapped to a piece of cardboard. Shouldn't have moved anywhere, but somehow it did. I even pulled it off and put it back on because I thought, wow, maybe this is upside down, but all of their gaskets are labeled face up. So that wasn't it. I just made it work. It's on there. Now I'm gonna see if I gotta lube these up, and then we'll get to torquing. Fact here. So when torquing down these nuts on the head, you want to lube the threads and the backside of the nut. You want to do this because this washer should not spin as you're torquing it, for whatever reason. So and these are directional. So yeah, just a little bit of engine oil, and then we'll get to torquing. Alright guys, just another heads up. Cylinder head is on. These washers, no lube. Pretty tight tolerances, getting in their little grooves here on the head itself. So what I did was I just gave them a little tap. I cleaned them out first. You can see underneath them, on the outside ones, there's a little bit of oil or whatever, or not oil, just corrosion from the aluminum. Inside ones are fine because they always have oil. But I just gave them a nice little tap, made sure they're seated in all the way because I don't want them to mess with the my torque sequence. But nice. We're gonna get to torquing this in just a sec. I'm gonna begin torquing down the head here. I have the order and the torque specs here on my Macro scan tool with all data. Those are the torque specs and everything I'm gonna be going by. So first round is 20 Newton meters. I'm gonna set my camera aside here, that way you guys can watch. And we're gonna start with center on the bottom or the passenger side. Yeah, I have a pretty fancy torque wrench, but 20 Newton meters is nothing. And then the second one, we're gonna go directly above it, middle one. Okay, 20, and then third one, bottom right of the first one. Okay, and then 4 is just to the left of the second one, top left of the center. And then 5 is directly below that one. Six is top right of center. Okay, and 7 is the front of the head, passenger side nut. 8 are gonna be exact opposite corners. 9 directly below that. Come on. 10 front driver side of the head. Okay, and then once you do 20 newton meters, some people say let this sit for a couple hours. Although it doesn't say nothing about that. And then the next set is 50 newton meters. Okay. And then the next set, we're gonna do 90 newton meters. And then number 10. Alright, that head is torqued. I just torqued the cam housing. However, I am not going to put that on until the very end. I'll explain why. First of all, I'm going to just give all these nuts one more check tomorrow morning, or tomorrow after work rather. I work tomorrow. But when you're reinstalling the exhaust manifolds, it's kind of a little tricky, but with that big cam housing on here, you're about to hear. So you'll be reaching under from the sides like this, trying to get your bolts, getting a wrench in from here. Nightmare. So I'm actually going to put the manifolds on before I do that.